Hello, you're very welcome to this episode of My Generation Gap, where you have me, Stuart Vincent Moore, a 50-year-old member of Generation X, talking art, film, media, culture, and a whole load of nonsense for about 10 minutes before we then get to talk about what we're talking about, which this week is The Running Man, all with my 18-year-old niece,
19.
Harriet Pilkington.
I'm 19 now.
19-year-old niece, Harriet Pilkington, a member of Generation Z.
Gen Z.
19 Gen Z, yeah. IRH, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm not too bad. I went to see a psychic medium last night. I didn't get until 12 o'clock. It was hardcore. Let me tell you that. So,
Hang on, a psychic medium. So what did she say? But she didn't tell you would be in bed late.
yeah, sure. I'm sensing you will be tired for your podcast record tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
Hang on.
Go on.
Because if she's sensing you'd been late for this podcast records, I could have told you that.
Everybody can sense I'd be late to a podcast record.
Yeah. Although actually today, Age, you've experienced a new experience today, haven't you? You've actually seen somebody else join the podcast recording studio, haven't you?
I know. It was really weird. It made me jump.
You jumped when you were in the studio, and then I joined after
and
you.
then you joined the studio.
And it made you jump because that's the first time that's happened.
Yeah, in like a year. It's nearly been a year since we've been doing the podcast.
Oh, we'll have to do a year anniversary special, which is probably going to be Wicked.
I was about to say, it's probably going to be when Wicked comes out, the second one.
Yeah, let's do that. Anyway, so go on, psychic medium.
So, psychic medium. So I'm one of them where I'm like, I don't think you can fully believe, but I also think you can't completely disbelieve, because there's a lot of unexplained things in life sometimes, and I think it gives a bit of comfort thinking that things are purely scientifical. And like, I remember having a physics teacher at school, and he was the most literal person I've ever met.
Purely scientifical.
I love that. Right.
Yeah.
I make up words, and I like it.
Well, no, I like when things are really literalaneous and scientificalness.
Scientifically literalaneous.
Yeah.
No, but my physics teacher was such a literal person. I remember him saying, like, energy can't be created or destroyed, it can only be transferred, which makes sense for absolutely everything. But then there's so much, like, energy in a person that I don't think that could just, like, vanish. So, and I think, like, for a lot of people, it gives a bit of comfort and stuff. So I would never, like, go to one of these things and close off. And
when you talk about energy in a person, what do you mean? Because I think energy is probably the wrong word.
Probably. I try not to kind of think about it too deeply. I don't think I'm that bothered about knowing, really whether there's, I don't know, whether ghosts are a thing or not, whether, a bit deep, but like, whether we pass and there's nothing. I think that's not quite a nice thought to have. So I think that just kind of not really know what's going on and just kind of not really caring is probably like the best way to be about these types of things. I think it's just the easiest way to be. You know what I mean? Sit on the fence, do what you want to do. So, so we went to psychic medium, which I would say I was very on the fence about. My mum's been with you. Did she go to a psychic medium?
We used to go to a psychic medium quite a lot when I was younger, yeah.
Really?
Well, not quite a lot. I mean, by quite a lot, I mean like a handful of times.
Yeah, because they mentioned some names that were then in your future and actually were in your future. Very much so.
I don't remember any of them, H.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything from those sessions. Really?
I mean, you might want to block this out for the actual record, but they said they gave you the name Louise and they gave my mum the name Alan, and then you both married people with those names.
Did we? Well, I remember marrying somebody with that name.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you not remember that?
No, I remember.
Yeah, and then divorcing, yeah.
I remember that marriage and I remember that divorce, that would be. But I don't remember being given that name. Really, was I?
Yeah, that's what Mum said. She them two names.
Oh, right.
But
and Alan, of course, is your dad, my sister's. Dear listener, if you haven't heard this before, Harriet is my niece, which I know we said earlier on, but Harriet's mum is my sister, so Harriet's dad, Alan, is my brother-in-law.
Yeah, so to put a bit of context in there, I have struggled medically with my gallbladder. I need it out. So I'd done a lot of things. I'd done a lot of hypnotherapy, counselling. I started going running to get like a lot of nervous energy out of my system, a lot of things like that. You know, was putting in loads of work to be ready for an operation to have it removed. So the plan was, I'd spoken to the team and everything, we've got a plan in place, because I went for it in February and it was just horrendous, because I didn't know what to expect. So this time we had a plan in place. I knew the surgeon who was going to do my surgery. I'd met him a couple months ago at the hospital, and he said, put her on my list, everything. For one, he wasn't there. So that was kind of the first thing that I was like, oh, I was meant to be having the mask to be put to sleep.
Yeah.
How long do you think it would take you to be put to sleep with a mask?
Well, I remember being put under general anaesthetic before, and they asked you to count to 10. And I'll count backwards from 10. I think I got to 7.
Yes. So that was my thought. So I'd prepared very much for this circumstance.
You memorised all the numbers from 10 down to 7?
I memorised all the numbers from 10 to 5.
Oh, right, okay. Going backwards, yeah.
So I prepared for this fact, got there, and the anaesthetist said to me, I'm not actually going to put you to sleep with a mask. And I was like, that's literally my care plan. Like, what do you mean? That's what I've prepared for. I'm not having the cannula.
So what were they going to do? Hit you over the head with a wrench?
I know. So he said, well, the thing is, he says, I don't want to do the mask. He said, the mask is used for young children, usually. We don't really use it for adults anymore. So I was like, right, okay. He said, and the thing is with the mask, he said, it could take you up to 10 minutes to fall asleep, and it could make you more panicky. What not to tell somebody who has panic attacks, by the way.
Yeah.
So at this point, I was like really nervous again. I was like, well, now I'm back nervous. Because I was literally in the theatre, in the bed, under the sheet and everything. It was just like, the whole plan changed. He was like, we're going to do the cannula. Anyway, he works with children. He kept trying to do like all the tactics, like putting it on my arm and what do you do for work then? And just look over there for me. And every time he'd try and reach for the needle, I'd unclip the strap that he put on. You know, the strap for your blood. He'd put it on and I'd go, clip. And then every time, and then again, I go, clip. So that wasn't happening. So then we had about 3 hours of like faffing about, trying to get a plan together, a bit of tears, whatever.
Well, why didn't they decide then just go with a mask?
Well, because they told me that it could be a long amount of time, and he said, I don't think it would be good for you. He says, I'm not really advising it because you're already a nervous patient. He said, I don't want you to be half asleep and then to feel even more panicky and take the mask off. We're trying to get a plan together. We're there for a little while, and then I goes back to the waiting room.
Well, so hang on, so you're not fully asleep when they anaesthetise you for this operation? You're not...
Yes, but the mask takes you like 10 minutes or 7 minutes, I think he said, to be asleep. So if you're 3 minutes and 30 seconds in, you could be half asleep, feel panicky, remove the mask, and then you've got half asleep in your system.
So what's wrong with that?
Well, I am really funny about feeling funny. That's my whole thing. I mean, I'm not too bothered about sedation. It's just actually having it done and letting go of that control. But I would hate to feel funny. So they can't give me pre-meds either. So they've got a right task on with me. So they sent me to a new suite this time called the Boothroyd Suite. And I was like, is that where you put difficult patients? We had a few hours of tuning through and went back. And I'd not had like any sleep. Like I was worried, but you know, you're just awake, and I ended up waking up through the night in like the pitch black, and then because of the dark mornings, it was black when we set off to the hospital and like pitch black when we got there, so it was just not very nice. And he said, look, he said, you've had 4 hours of to and fro and you're absolutely knackered. He says, I think I'm going to take the situation out of your hands and say I'm not going to do it today. He was like, because you're knackered. And I was like falling asleep in chair because I was just like, which would have been quite helpful to be fair. But you know, all kind of worked up and whatever. And then as he went to discharge me and whatever, he said, oh, have you had gas and air before? And I went, yes, for the pain. And he went, how did you find that? I went, I loved gas and air. And he went, did it work really well on you? I went, really well. And he went, oh, you'd probably be fine with the mask then, and you'd probably be off quite quickly. So after all that, you know, 4 hours of bumming, toing and froing and whatever, I've now come home with an anaesthetic mask.
What, just to like test it and see what it feels like before you go back again?
You look like Darth Vader.
You look like me with my sleep machine on.
Luke. Yeah, so I've got one of them. Anyway, that you needed that background for the psychic medium. So it goes to the psychic medium, last night at a pub. Best place to have a psychic medium.
Also, it wasn't just like a private meeting, because when me and our kid
No.
went, me and your mum went, it was at their house. It was
Yeah,
like
a lot of them
reading.
do private readings, but this was just a night. It was in like an events room in a pub, basically.
Okay.
We were in there. He's trying to warm the audience up, and the first like 20 minutes was so bad. He was like, "I'm sensing a person, and they're wearing jeans." Do you know what I mean? And it's like, and they're possibly somebody who's passed away, and you're all like, really? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It were a bit like that at the start, but then actually, as he got into it, he kind of went around the room and he said, look, he says, if I'm saying something to somebody, it could be somebody next to them or near them. He was like, in general, he says, I only get short bits of words. He says, I'm not going to be able to have a conversation, give you a conversation with somebody. He was like, I just get bits of information. So we're like, right, okay. Anyway, goes to the girl next to me and he says, I'm getting sheep. And we're like, sheep? And he was like, yeah, I'm getting sheep and a sense of religion. So I was like, I said to my mum, I was like, that could be Grandad, but it's a very, very loose kind of connection. As you know, Grandad kind of grew up on a farm. Well, you know, family had a farm and he was religious.
Hang on. Your granddad or my granddad?
My Grandad.
My dad?
Yes, your Grandad had the farm.
Yeah, but your granddad grew up in London. He grew up in Camden.
He did. He grew up in Camden Town. So, but it's still, you know, the sheep. He had the farm and he looked after the farm for a long time. Did Grandad Jim when you were younger? He took over the farm for a while. He used to go away, and that's before they got divorced.
Okay, go on.
Delisted my grandma and granddad did get divorced and then back together again, and then we're together for like 50 years. Until...
Yeah, but he was never a farm boy.
Yeah, I used to spend lots of time on the farm. Grandma's told me that. I used to go over and like look after the farm loads.
Yeah, but that wasn't looking after. That was like fixing
anyway. Yeah,
anyway,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. There were really loose kind of stuff. There wasn't anything really in it. If you were trying to look for something, that's what you'd find.
Yeah.
And then he said, "There's an instant with a knife." He says, "I'm seeing an instant with a knife," and everybody went, "What?" Do you know what I mean? Everybody was kind of freaking out a little bit then, thinking, is something going to happen with the bloody knife? Is he going to pull out a knife in a second or something? Do you know what I mean? It was a bit... And I was like, nah, nothing to do with... And then I remembered the last time I saw my granddad Jim. He was in bed and he was on morphine and I'd given him a spoon and some food and he dropped the spoon in his bed and he was like, there's a knife in my bed, there's a knife in my bed. That was the last time I saw him because I walked out then because I knew he do you know what I mean? So I then walked out of... He wasn't well at that point, you know. I mean, he didn't suffer very long, but in those last week, it was really tough for him. Yeah. So, and at that point, I just knew he would want me to leave. So I left. And that was the last time I saw him, but I was like, again... really loose connection, so I never said anything. I'll put my hand up, and this is the girl right next to me. And then let me try and I have the actual thing on my phone.
Was the girl next to you wearing a woolly jumper?
No. Are you thinking sheep?
And was she making a sandwich?
Yeah. He said, what did he say? Oh yeah, that was the other thing, eye problems. He says, I'm getting eye problems. I didn't have my glasses on, but I do have an eye condition. Having really clear, vivid dreams at the minute, and he's asking you to write them down. I'm having really clear, vivid dreams at the minute about Grandad.
Okay. Yeah.
But again, you know, you're at a medium place. These are very loose things. A lot of people there could be having vivid dreams. That might be why they're at a psychic medium. Mm-hmm. And also he went, but you've also got ties to Coventry. I don't know why I'm seeing Coventry. Now, the rest of my family is from Coventry and lives in Coventry. So, again, I didn't even put my hand up at this point.
Although, if you ask your dad where he comes from and all his family comes from,
he would
not say Coventry.
He would not.
He'd very definitely say Warwick or Stratford.
He'd say Warwickshire or Snitterfield. Yeah, absolutely. So, then half-time comes around and I was speaking to the mum and daughter that were next to us. And I did say, I was like, I think those things may have been for me. And then we comes back from half-time and he went back to the people he'd seen before half-term to see if anything had resonated with them in that half-time. Yeah. And he went back to the mum and daughter next to us and they pointed at me and they went, we think it might be for them, as in me and my mum who were there.
Yeah.
And I said, possibly. I says, very loose connections. He says, can you tell me about the knife incident? He says, because everybody's very concerned, but me and you both know it wasn't anything dangerous? And I said, yeah. I said the knife incident was to do with the morphine and the bed and things like that. I says, that's all I said. And then he went, no, this isn't for you. And I was like, oh, all right. He went, this is definitely not for you. He says, I'm getting clear pathways now. I'm getting clear signals. Bear in mind, nobody knows about my operation last week, apart from my mum, dad, and Harley. I'm getting clear signals. I'm getting clear signals from this woman. It is not you. He says, I'm so sorry. He went, I've just got the word anaesthetic. I was like, bear in mind, nobody knows. Nobody. I haven't spoken to anybody in the pub about having the surgery, about the anaesthetic, anything like that. And I was like, I put my hand up, I was like, that is definitely for me. Listen to me. Because he was like, no, it's definitely not for you. And he just said the word anaesthetic and they went, no. And I went, yes, literally like my whole life. And he said, can you explain that? And then I had to explain. I was like, yeah. I was like,
more trauma.
yeah, let me just explain my trauma in front of like 20 people. What do you think to that?
What is that?
That was it.
Well, what did he say after that?
He said they're very loose names, but Nancy, Neil, and Mark. And no, we don't know any of them. So, yeah, weird things that he couldn't have known, but also off the mark on a few things. So, still a bit unsure, really. But the anaesthetic was so weird. So, how's your week been?
What I'll do is I'll just tell you a story.
Okay.
It's about one time when our dog went missing, because if we're talking about unworldly events.
Yes.
Now, a couple of years ago when we had a dog called Elsie,
Yeah.
and she got really old, so she like lost her hearing and she got a little bit senile.
Yeah.
So one day down the park, we hadn't realised how bad she got, and we'd let her off the lead. We stopped letting her off the lead after this because we realised that one, she couldn't hear us.
Yes.
And two, she couldn't see very well. So she would just see random people walking around the park and think that they were her family and run towards them. So when we were calling her, she couldn't hear us, so we'd let her off the park and then we turned around and she'd gone.
Yeah.
And we were calling her, Elsie, Elsie, and of course she couldn't hear us. And anyway,
Yeah.
I looked in this little coppice of trees, like this little tiny treed area down the park. And as I was walking around, I noticed there was one of those, like a memorial spot, you know, when people put flowers where something tragic has happened. And there were loads of flowers around this tree. And on the tree, there was some things posted and a picture frame. And on the picture frame, and then the flowers were sort of like wilting and dying, so they'd been there for a while.
Yes.
And it was all real. It was very like Blair Witch.
Blair Witch Project, yeah.
Yeah, and when I looked at the picture frame, there was a date and a time underneath it.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that must be the date and the time to commemorate whatever happened here at this time. But when I looked at the date and the time, it was that day's date, and the time was in 10 minutes' time.
You're joking.
No, so I ran away.
Is that the whole story?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought, are you sure you didn't just like read it wrong?
Probably. Yeah, because my eyes aren't the best and it was quite high up.
Maybe it was something like 11, 12, 24, not like 17, 12, 24, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. If I went back to the park now, it was probably still there. Probably the date was 10 years ago or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually 1920 and not 2020.
And I realised how bad my eyes are, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even when I'm like reading stuff on a like ingredients on a food packet or something like that, I have to get my phone out and zoom into it because I can't see it.
I get mine get all muddled, so I'm not dyslexic. I've got keratoconus, so the words actually the letters distort, like, so they go a bit like a foreign language. So if I'm looking,
so hang on, so you have whenever you read something, you have to have Kerry Katona come and read it to you.
Yeah, she has to come and read it for me.
She has to follow you everywhere around.
Yeah, personally, yeah.
Maybe I should get Betty Boo to do mine.
So if I'm reading like teaspoon and tablespoon, I don't know which one's which, because sometimes unless if I look at it like that, then I can tell. But
I'll let you
so
into
I have
secret.
to be careful about that.
It doesn't really matter.
I think it does.
What, a teaspoon and a tablespoon?
Tablespoon of salt. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like that much salt.
Right. Well.
Anyway, H.
Yeah.
Enough of that.
Enough
Let's
of
talk
that.
about.
That was half an hour. Here's me being like, oh yeah, let's have a quick record today, and I'm just talking about like a psychic meeting for half an hour.
Let's talk about what we're here to talk about, H. Which this week is
The Running Man.
The Running Man, not the modern day 2025 Running Man.
Yes.
But the 19 1987,
Yes.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Running Man. We will do the modern day Running Man when it's...
Will we?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we will. When it's available and cheaper to buy on Amazon. But right now, it's not. Actually, I don't know if it's even released yet.
No, I don't think it is.
No. So we will do that in time, and we'll probably compare.
I'm yawning already just thinking about it.
Well, hang on. I'm going to. So the film opens up with a text scroll. So it starts off. By 2017, the world economy has collapsed. Food, natural resources, and oil are in short supply. A police state divided into paramilitary zones rules with an iron hand. Television is controlled by the state, and a sadistic game show called The Running Man has become the most popular program in history. All art, music, and communications are censored. No dissent is tolerated, and yet a small resistance movement has managed to survive underground. When high-tech gladiators are not enough to suppress the people's yearning for freedom, more direct methods become necessary. Well, that's good, isn't it?
Now, I'd argue that actually X Factor is worse than The Running Man.
Well, to be honest with you, right, if we break that down, it's basically describing the USA as it is now.
Yeah, that's quite true.
The thing is that whole speech or the whole thing could relate to anything at any time, really.
That's quite true.
But then I don't really understand when high-tech gladiators are not enough to suppress the people's yearning for freedom, more direct methods become necessary. Oh, no, actually, now I've read it, I understand it.
Right, okay. I was about to say, like, I'm kind of understanding that, and I don't usually understand stuff like that.
High-tech gladiators is good, though, isn't it?
High-tech gladiators.
Basically, in summary, The Running Man is The Running Man, a film by a story by Richard Bachman, who was actually Stephen King.
Yeah.
And actually, if you read the book, which I can tell you now, I haven't done, but I have read the plot summary on Wikipedia. The film
That's all I do for these reviews.
Well, I do wonder sometimes if you do actually watch the film.
I have watched the film, and let me tell you, I wasn't happy about watching this one.
in double speed, 4 times speed?
No, 1 time speed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that just because you didn't have the ability to watch it in double speed?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't on YouTube.
Yeah, because it wasn't on YouTube this time.
The film is about Ben Richards, who is a member of the Popo, who, again, are just state-sponsored murderers putting down the people anyway, which doesn't make him the best of people in my eyes anyway. But because it's a military police force, but they make him all worthy, don't they?
Yes.
Because he refused to open fire on some unarmed civilians in a food riot. And because of that, then the state took him and put him in prison, and he escaped, but then he gets captured by the TV producers and put in the show The Running Man, where he has to run from the stalkers in the game who all have weapons, and they're, the crowd.
Got like chainsaws, aren't they? All like an ice hockey stick or...
It's like an extreme WWF in it. What's wrestling? It's not WWF anymore, is it? What's the wrestling people?
WWE.
And then, of course, Ben Richards survives the run of the gauntlet. He gets through all the challenges and kills all the stalkers, escapes and brings down the TV network, and then he's the actual unedited footage of him as the supposed butcher of Bakersfield.
Can we talk about the fact that
clears his name?
The only woman in the film, her only job is to remember something. That's like her only thing, is like, oh, remember this that another man had done and give it to another man so another man can do something to another man.
Yeah, so this is when Arnie breaks out of prison and he goes to his brother's apartment, he finds
Which
his brother's
I think
apartment.
all women, put sexy underwear on and then, do gym moves in front of the TV when they get home from work. Yeah, don't you all do that?
So Arnie breaks out of prison, goes to his brother's apartment where he doesn't live there anymore, but this woman does. And like you say, she comes home from work, takes her shoes off, puts a pair of pants on.
Yeah, she's in pajama, nice pajamas, and she basically
doesn't work out in a
It doesn't
sexy
work out in front
pants.
of the TV, yeah.
Yeah, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger bursts in and says, "Where's my brother?" And she says, "Oh, he's been assigned for re-education," which means he's been locked up somewhere, I guess. He sort of takes her hostage, doesn't he, so he can flee because he's been hunted down, and she gives him away. And because of that, and then she realizes actually some of the things that are reported about that hostage situation were false, and she says, "Hang on, maybe that Arnold guy, Ben Richards, was telling the truth."
Maybe
So
he's a really nice guy for keeping
maybe
me
he's a
captive
really
in my
nice
own
guy.
home and invading my home,
Yeah.
and when he realised it was my home, still stayed there and like kept me hostage. Yeah.
yeah, and then also pinched my identity and
Yeah,
used
and
me
tried to use
as
my
a
travel card,
human
yeah.
shield to travel.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe he's a really nice guy, and I should go and try and save him. So I'll look up the footage to see if I can
Yeah.
clear his name. Which, of course, then she gets caught. So Amber Mendez then gets arrested.
Yeah.
And when she's going to get put in the Running Man show with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And they're then saying, and Amber Mendez is here because of these charges. 1, in school, she cheated in her exams. When she was at university, she had sex with 2 or 3 men in 1 year. And then, and then they said, and she fancies Ben Richards. And she went, well, that's a lie.
That's not true.
That's not true. You see, well, yeah. She stamps on kittens. Yeah. She parks in disabled bay
Takes sweets from
spots.
children.
Takes sweets from children. Yeah. And she fancies Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, I don't.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Also, none of them are like arrestable offences or anything like that.
No, but it's very definitely. See, the thing is with this film, it's a satire, isn't it? And it's a satire on media and.
By the way, it was on about what
government.
she'd done, not what we said about stamping on kittens.
Yeah.
That is illegal.
Yeah, and I stopped doing that years ago. It's a satire, isn't it? And it's not light-handed at all, is it? It's very, very heavy-handed, very, very in your face.
I don't think people know it is satire.
What do you mean?
I don't think people, because it's so cheesy and like his lines and stuff in it are so terrible.
But this is it. But that's what an Arnold Schwarzenegger film is. It's never going to be serious.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is so terrible
But then
acting and conveying any sort of emotion. That because he's just like a big wooden post, isn't he?
Well, yeah, because he says, doesn't he, to the guy, "I'll be back," and I'm like, I'm sure that's from another film.
Well, it's the Terminator. It's a line from the Terminator, and he uses it quite a lot in his films. I'll be back.
Okay, I see, yeah. But like, I just think that's not entertaining at all. Like, I don't know what it is about it. I was just watching it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's that, and then that's that, and then it just wasn't. It wasn't funny enough to be funny, and it wasn't serious enough to be good. In my opinion.
Well, do you know what? I agree with you in that it's a terrible film.
It is a terrible
but
film.
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger and it's fun.
It's not fun though.
It is fun to laugh at Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Honestly, it's so
also,
cheesy.
Like you know when she had that disc or like a little SD card of the raw footage of and they put her in the Running Man suit, didn't they? Which you could see everything in that suit. You can see where she kept the dinner money, and everything. She hands over to Arnold the unedited footage on this little computer disc. And he went, "Where were you hiding that?"
I didn't notice that bit. That's a good point. Where did she have that?
Yeah. Well, he says, "Where did you hide that?" And she went, "You don't want to know."
I didn't even hear that bit.
I'm surprised you didn't sniff it.
Yeah. Where'd you hide that?
I could tell.
Yeah. All right, I know. Yeah. I think not only that as well, like all the dancing as well with the women, they've all got their asses out. Like
because then he'd have to take that memory card and hide it and keep hold of it. And
where did he hide?
Well, exactly. He'd be like Jimmy Tissue, wouldn't he? He'd be like your granddad, where he used to keep his wallet in his underpants. Yeah.
Jimmy Tissue style. You never told me how the name Jimmy Tissue came about. You were going to tell me.
But you know, It's not even a great story.
Oh, right.
He was
Okay.
just on the phone to somebody when he was working in when he was back working in the he used to work in this
Yeah.
frozen food warehouse, and he was always on the phone to suppliers and their
Yeah.
customers because they would like a big distribution warehouse
Mhm.
where they would take loads of food in, freeze it, and then distribute it to pubs and hotels and things
Dear
like
listener,
that.
Jimmy Tissue is my granddad, by the way.
Yeah, Jimmy Tissue,
Yeah.
yeah. And he got called Jimmy Tissue because one day when he was on the phone and one of his customers said, "Oh, what's your..." And he said it was a Chinese restaurant. He said the guy had a really heavy accent, which I'm not going to do. But
Yes.
he said, "Oh, so what's your name?" "It's Jim." And as he said Jim, he sneezed. So the guy on the phone went, "Oh, Jimmy
Jimmy
Tissue."
Tissue.
Yeah.
Okay, I
So
like that.
then
Yeah.
he just got called Jimmy Tissue.
Jimmy Tissue. Yeah. My
Yeah.
my dad did that. He was on the phone he was doing some aftercare for electrical installation, and he did some social housing. He had a phone call. Dad went, "Oh, by the way," he says, "My name's Alan, by the way," and he went, "Oh, well, thank you for your time, Alan, by the way." And that made me laugh.
Yeah, that's like when I met a guy called Jason Go to Bed.
Jason Goes.
And I still don't know whether that was his real name or just people called him Jason
I
Go to
very
Bed.
much doubt he was called Jason Goes to Bed. One of my favourite stories about Grandad as well is when he worked at the chicken factory and, well, like frozen produce and stuff. He stole a whole frozen chicken and put it in the back of his motorbike in
And
the
the
storage
panniers, yeah.
thing. And as he was talking, I think his boss came out or something, and he was like leant on it, and as he realised it was like not crystallised, but like icy all
frosting
around
up,
where,
yeah.
all frosting up, and he was like trying to stop it
Trying
from
to
frosting
scrape it
up.
off.
Yeah.
I'm sure that business went under because of the amount of stuff that your
The
granddad
granddad
stole from
stole
that. We can only talk about this because he's dead.
Yeah, because he's not here anymore.
Because he's not here, he can't get into trouble.
Yeah, they can't arrest him from the wardrobe.
Yeah. But we used to get loads of stuff when we were kids from the stuff that he used to nick from work because you'd get all sorts of stuff. You'd
Yeah.
get like boxes of chicken legs and take them to a guy called Lenny the Leg. Have you ever heard of Lenny the Leg?
No.
Well, Lenny the Leg could get you anything you wanted, and he could get you it for the price of a box of chicken legs. So we'd go to see Lenny the Leg. And it'd be like going into,
That's
like
like an
all the
80s film vibe.
Oh, well, you see, we go to see Lenny the Leg, and it'd be like going into like the souks in Marrakesh, all these marketplaces, all the
Yeah,
bazaars
yeah.
where you're on, and there's like colourful Persian carpets, spices from all over the world, trinkets, golden lamps, and all these things.
Yeah.
And it was like that, but it was a garage in Pudsey. We came away once with a couple of video recorders and a chihuahua called Bingley. That's
Is that where
Bingley came
Bingley's from? Is that where Bingley was from?
Yeah, from Lenny the Leg.
That's so funny. Bingley was like obviously my granddad's chihuahua until I was like, I think he died when I was like 9 years old. He was feral as well.
Well, he lived to be 20 years old, that dog.
I know, he was feral.
What do you mean feral?
Bingley?
Bingley?
Bingley was feral.
It was a bit wild, but it wasn't because he was feral, it's because he was pampered.
No, he was fat. Like, if he'd see a big dog, he'd try and like kill it. He was like,
Oh, well, he'd go for
and
it,
he
yeah.
was like the size of a hamster.
Yeah, but he'd only do that because he was on the lead. As soon as you put him off the lead and he had to go and confront the big dog, he would
Yeah, then he
absolutely
wouldn't.
run away. It was a bit like the guy in the pub that starts a fight and gets all these mates behind him and says, "Oh, hold me back, hold me back.
Hold me back,
Hold me
yeah.
back. I'm
And
going to kill
he's
him,
like
hold me back."
forcing them to hold him back. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Oh, he was very definitely pampered.
Can we talk about the special effects in The Running Man? Because what the hell?
Age is 1980s. Come on.
Yeah, but even I would have taken Botty Bunny over that. Sorry, Donnie Darko.
To be honest with you, I don't disagree. The special effects, the costumes, and the I mean, it was made in the 80s and it was set, although they said it was 2017, it was set in 2025. And the technology that they thought then that we would have in 2025 is so far away. They still
Yes.
had like BBC micro computers with that massive keyboards and the green screen and things like that.
And they had like this thing, didn't they? Like a panel down the middle of the desks with the screens in it. It's not like that at all.
Yeah. So they weren't that imaginative when you think, what's the world going to be like in 40 years' time?
Yeah.
it could be anything.
It could be
And it was
anything.
just all the same computers.
Yeah,
and
it was
screens.
like being back in the 1980s.
It was like being back in the 1980s, yeah.
The only thing I think they got was like, like the big billboard. But then was that a thing in the 80s anyway? Like
What,
big
big
billboards,
billboards?
like big electronic billboards. Like it was like a big no. Okay, so that they got right. Because like if you go to like America or whatever, or even like Leeds or something, they've got like big I don't know why I said America. Like a lot
got
closer
to-
to home.
Yeah, but H, you live in Wakefield.
Yeah, that's to be fair. Yeah,
You get wide-eyed when you go to Leeds.
it's quite true. Yeah, I tell you what though, going into Leeds is magical. Like going from the Ridings in Wakefield to Leeds city centre is like being in Vegas. I went to Leeds like probably for the not first time, but the first kind of outing as an adult, I would say. You know what I mean? Not as a child, but you can't remember it. And we went into Leeds. It would have been in the early summer, and I was like, "Wow, look how big these restaurants are!" And like, look at this and look at that, like it's Vegas.
Well, H, you came down to Nottingham last year one evening. You were like, look how tall the buildings are.
Yeah, I did. And then Caroline did a poetry reading in like a college. I was like, "How big is this college? Oh, library, that was it.
It was
How
the
big is
Nottingham
this
Library.
Yeah.
How big is this library?
Yeah.
Hang on, what are these things here? Right, the books.
You've got computers in the library?
I've got, yeah. Where are we again? Library.
Yeah, I remember I needed a toilet. And I was
What's this
like,
magical place?
he was like down there on the left for the toilets. And it was like the other side of the building. The building was like massive. Well, not that big, but massive if you were from Wakefield anyway.
Yeah. And then even on the TV screens, like the biggest technological advance, it was like having teletext and CFAX in the 1980s.
I don't know what those words mean.
No, I know. Before the internet,
Yes.
if you wanted to go on holiday, the choices were, well, in the 1980s and 1990s, you could go to your travel agent. All your holidays had to be booked through the travel agent age.
Yeah.
But then teletext came along, and teletext was a thing on your telly, right?
Then would you ring them?
Well, you can ring them, but no, not on teletext. You couldn't.
Oh, okay.
So on teletext, it was on your telly. You go into you'd press teletext on your TV remote.
Right.
Because TV remotes are sort of new as well. So before then, when I was up to the age of like 8 or 9 age, you'd be sat down on the sofa watching telly, and the youngest person in the room had to get up and turn the channel over if you wanted to watch something else. So it was always down to the youngest person.
Was that just the rule in your house because you bullied mum?
Yeah.
That's the rule. That's the rule, Julie. You've got to get up and turn the channel over because you're the youngest.
And then when you get up to turn the channel over, everybody go, "Oh, see, did you up? You've got to make the tea now." So
Yeah.
then the kettle would have to go on and make the tea.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a rule or not.
No, but it was my rule.
Your rule.
Yeah. And then remote controls came out, and that was mind blowing. Well, first remote controls on a cable on a wire.
Yeah.
And then a full remote control that wasn't wired into your telly. And then the teletext button where you press teletext, and then the screen would come up, and it would just scroll through loads of screens. So you could choose any number between like 100 and 999, and they're all different. So between 100 and 1 and 200 would be like news.
Yeah.
So you could read the news headlines and news reports on teletext, and then.
Oh wow, okay.
Like 200 and to 300 would be like entertainment news and things like that.
Really?
And then there was
You read it on the TV, like reading a newspaper on your TV.
Yeah, but
Wow.
so you just like choose a channel. It was like menus on the.
Yeah.
You'd have to put like 247 and look at these things, and they'd have quizzes on there. I remember when there was a quiz written by a guy called Bamba Bamboozle. And it was like entertainment quizzes, and you could press, you'd have like 4 choices, red, blue, and green button on your telly to pick the answers. But then they had teletext holidays, and you'd scroll through, and these would all be like the last minute deals that were going through, and they would put them all on teletext.
I feel like Grandma and Grandad definitely did that.
Absolutely, you asked. Well, no, your mum did as well. So your mum would look through teletext and bought holidays through teletext. So that's the imagination in the Running Man producers, because a lot of the computers just look like teletext.
Yeah. Well, I think it's safe to say this does not have a Gen X win.
Do you know what? I think I'm gonna have to agree with you, H,
Good.
because even though I'm not the world's biggest Arnie fan, and I do
Yeah.
find this film fun. I remember it being fun, and when I watched it this time, I found it sort of fun, but almost like in a knowing way, like in an ironic way.
Yeah.
It
Or a
wasn't like
nostalgic way.
yeah,
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
nostalgic way. It wasn't.
No,
It
it's
wasn't
not it.
enjoyable
No.
in any
I'm
way.
currently.
Apart from
Go on.
before you said, apart from whenever Arnold Schwarzenegger kills somebody, and it's a bit of a trademark of his, it always comes up with a quip, like a one-liner.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think we need to go too much into the Running Man, except to say it's
Not a Gen X win.
not a Gen X win, even though there's so much going for it.
I don't think
It
there
doesn't.
is.
No, maybe you're right. I would say H. It's time for this. It's Burger Stews Burger Review. 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 It's eating a burger, then he marks it out of 5. He's eating a burger, and he's marking it out of 5. This week, H, I've gone Regal.
You've gone Regal?
Regal, yeah, because I've gone to Burger King.
Yeah. Do you know, I haven't had a Burger King in years.
Well, neither have I, and it's because I don't really like Burger King.
No, I never remembered liking it that much. I would have always chosen easily like McDonald's or KFC over Burger King.
Yeah, because their big thing was always that flame grilled taste.
Mm.
I don't like that flame grilled taste.
No.
I'm not that bothered about it.
Yeah.
But I went to Burger King, and I'll tell you for why, H. Because they've got a Wagyu burger.
A what?
A Wagyu.
A Wagyu burger.
Is that how you say it, Wagyu?
Yeah.
Is it not a Wagyu?
No,
Well,
it's a
spelt
Wagyu.
Wagyu.
It's definitely Wagyu. Wagyu beef and Wagyu burgers, yeah.
All right. Well, they had a Wagyu burger then. Well, I don't know. It's all a new thing to me, isn't it?
I think it's Wagyu beef. I've definitely heard of Wagyu beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, they had a Wagyu beef burger, H.
Yeah.
So I went in to try that.
Thoughts?
It wasn't great, H.
No. Do you know what? Something told me you were going to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, you
So-
are a critique anyway.
Yeah. To be honest with you, it didn't taste that much different to like a Whopper.
No.
It was supposed to be loads better, and it was supposed to be like freshly made and all that. And then when you just eat it, you just think, oh, it just tastes like, and then you get that flame grilled, like barbecuey, burnt, charcoaly taste. You just think, oh. So, and it was just like anything else, but about $5 extra.
Yeah.
So, Burger King, Wagyu
Wagyu.
burger. What is it? Wagyu?
Wagyu, yeah. Or Wagyu, yeah, whatever.
Burger King, Wagyu burger, 2.5.
2.5. Yeah, that's quite... It's not as bad as what I thought it could have been, actually. It could have been worse. Could have been like
It could have been
1.5.
worse, but you get, I suppose, because it did have quite a lot of like fresh salad in it, tomatoes and things like that. So that wasn't bad. But the actual burger and the beef put together,
Yeah.
it wasn't anything.
was the bread
better than a
like?
Whopper. It was just like a normal bun. It was supposed to be like brioche, but it wasn't really. It was really plasticky and really not great.
Yeah, I hate plasticky brioche.
Yeah.
When Jimmy Tissue was still alive, he used to buy me brioche all the time, but I hated brioche.
You hate brioche? What's wrong with you? What happened
Do you know,
to you?
as I've got older, I like it. Chill out.
H, who hurt you? All right.
Back
okay.
off. I like it now, but I can't eat it anymore.
Why?
Because I've got gallstones.
All right.
Back then, I didn't like brioche. I did like it, but when you overeat something and then you really go off it. I'd kind of done that or been sick on it or something. Anyway, so it kept buying me brioche all the time, like massive things of brioche. And I didn't have the heart to tell him that I didn't like it. So Mum used to just eat all the brioche. So he'd like buy me it, I'd give it to Mum, and then so I never told him.
Listen, H, it's Burger Stew's Burger Review, and it's not H's
It's not
brioche
H's
review.
brioche review. Yeah, whatevs.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Test. Woo, woo, woo. Test. Woo, woo, woo. Now, as I was singing that, H, I saw you shaking your head. Why were you shaking your head?
Because I'm going to do so bad this week. Because I know nothing about this film. Like, I just watched it with this face the whole time.
H. Questions 1 through 4. Do you like that? I went American then.
Yes.
I want you to name any or repeat any of the one-liner quips Arnold Schwarzenegger gave when they killed a stalker.
Okay, I think one of them was, I'm sorry to cut you off. I feel like he said something like that. Or,
Ooh.
yeah.
I haven't got that one written down, but do you know what? Let me put a question mark over that. Cut you off. Might give you one for that. because even if you didn't say that, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you a point if you come up with something better than Arnie's. So
Okay.
I feel like I have to cut you off. Go on then.
Don't be hot-headed or something. the guy set on fire. No.
Fireball, what a hothead.
What a hothead. I'm
What a
having that.
hothead.
I'm
You
having
can have that too, yeah.
Okay. I'm doing well.
Yeah.
I don't know what he said to the ice hockey kind of.
Well, he said, do you know what? He said a couple. So he did say another one to Fireball as well. What about Buzzsaw, who had the
Well, that was the
chainsaw?
one I thought was like, sorry to cut you off.
No, he said something else to that.
Um,
And there was Sub-Zero, the ice hockey guy.
the Sub-Zero's the one I can't think of what he would have said to him about. Because I'm trying to think how he killed Sub-Zero. He killed Buzzsaw by
Sub-Zero.
sewing him.
Well, he took the chainsaw, didn't he, and like cut him in half, didn't
That's
he,
what I
from
mean,
the
yeah.
groin
Like,
up.
yeah. But I can't think what he did to Sub-Zero. Did he?
Well, Sub-Zero
He like strangled him with the.
with barbed wire. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what could that be? He was a.
Don't
he
lose
said,
your head.
"Oh, it's close, but it's not right."
I'm not gonna get it.
You're not going to get it, AJ.
No,
I'll tell you
go
what.
on, tell me.
Right, so Sub-Zero, first of all, he said, he's not Sub-Zero, now he's just plain Zero.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
And then he said he was a pain in the neck.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
And then Buzzsaw, when Buzzsaw says, I'm going to give you my chainsaw, and he went, you can keep it. And then he said that he had to split.
Yeah.
He had to split. And then Fireball, he said, what a hothead. And how about a light?
That's the one how about a light as well that I've forgotten.
Yeah, you're not going to get your pound and a drink.
But I did better than I thought, actually.
You did better than you thought. You got 2 out of 4. But question 5, what snack did I eat whilst I was watching Running Man?
I might have this one today because you've got a snack with you today that you're eating now, and I think you would have ate that whilst watching this. And I think it's breadsticks dipped in Biscoff spread.
That's correct, H. I was eating breadsticks dipped in Biscoff spread.
Wow. I think that's the first time I've ever guessed the snack. Or second, maybe.
Yeah, it's a good snack, H.
That is a good snack.
Yeah, especially with a cup of tea.
Better with a cup of tea.
Yeah, I've got my giant teapot.
Your giant teapot?
There's about a litre of tea in there.
Yeah.
I drink that and then I have to go to the toilet all afternoon. That's all I do.
Well, I had a load of lentils before I went to the psychic meeting. My stomach was like, I thought it'll be saying there's something coming through. And it'll be like my stomach going,
So, I think, H, we're done apart from what's your telly been?
I've gotten my boyfriend into watching You, which we did a review on.
Oh, yeah.
Which I keep watching it, and I'm trying to watch it without his inner monologue to see what it would be like, and it's quite funny.
Yeah, it was weird with You. I sort of watched it and then came round to it right at the end, I think. I think there was more to it than I first thought.
Season 5, I have to admit, which is the one we reviewed, not one of my faves. It did conclude everything, but I don't know. I think season 2 and 3 are the best.
So, Harley's been watching You. What else have you been watching?
I am so looking forward to Stranger Things. By the time this has been released, I think Stranger Things will be a few days away, maybe.
Okay.
And I cannot wait for Stranger Things season 5. Like, I've grown up with it. I watched season 1 when I was like 10, like them lot, and because I'm the same age as them roughly. And then I waited for season 2, and I waited for season 3, and then I waited for season 4. So I cannot wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Stranger Things as
What's
well.
your
But then,
go on, sorry, go on.
well, it was the final of the Celebrity Traitors.
Yes, it was.
Which Alan Carr played a blinder.
Oh my! How did he do that?
What good television that final was. Wasn't
How
it great
did he
television?
do that? I like the way that Nick Mohammed just drops when he realises what's gone on.
Well, then the Joe Marler, which I didn't really like Joe Marler all the way through. I thought he was a bit of a bully. The way he would tried to intimidate everybody at the round table, didn't he, by folding his arms and staring at them, just being intimidating. And the way he talked to people as well, it was like, oh, banter. But you just think, oh, all right,
I
mate,
don't
give it a rest. And you just think, oh, he just sounds like a bully.
Yeah.
And that's when he's knowingly being watched by people. You think, what's
maybe
he like
that
when
was
he's not
his
being
downfall.
filmed?
You know, maybe
I don't know.
that was why Nick... Because I wasn't expecting it. I thought Nick and David. I thought they'd kind of got it in the bag, and I thought if they were to vote off anybody, it would have been it would have been Alan Carr, because they were more
Yeah.
suspicious of him. They mentioned his name loads. Then when they went Joe Marler, and then when I thought if they go Joe Marler, I thought they'll then do Alan
They'll
Carr
do Alan
and
Carr,
just be
but
the
then
two of them. But
they
then they
decided
didn't.
to end the game. Yeah.
Not only that, but when Alan threw the bag on, and when
he's ending the
Green,
game, even
ending
though
the
he'd been
game.
voting for David the whole way through.
Yeah, even though he'd been voting for David, that confirms he's a traitor. So they should have known at the point he'd thrown Green. So I was quite disappointed in Nick Mohammed.
But it made for very, very good telly.
And it actually helped us out, because we did a bit in our unreleased episode featuring Sonny Paul. Is it unreleased or is it released?
It's not released yet, because do you know what? With a three-person record, it takes so long to edit it. I'm not sure we can do many of them, H.
No, I don't think so.
It's too much going on.
We had in our unreleased episode featuring Sonny Paul, we talk about Mr. Swallow's
Jurassic
Park. It's a massive park. That's been stuck in my head like for weeks now. And we posted that on TikTok. That did quite well, because obviously Nick Mohammed at the minute.
I love Mr. Swallow. Mr. Swallow's touring.
Mr. Swallow, yeah.
Yeah, he's great, Mr. Swallow.
Yeah, everybody keeps saying to me lately out and about that, they'll be like, "Oh, I love Nick Mohammed," and I'm like, "Yeah," I was like, "Mr. Swallow's one of my faves," and they'll be like, "Who's that?" And I'm like,
Mr. Swallow.
It's Nick Mohammed. I'm like, "Oh, forget it."
Yeah, it's his comedy character. I haven't really watched that much telly, H, because I've finally finished the Rosefield, which is the final Philip Pullman book in the Book of Commonwealth series. And I'm just going to give you a quick book review, H.
Yes.
So the first 2/3 of the book were absolutely spellbinding and brilliant, and then it fell down in the last third.
Really?
And then it sort of picked up and kind of was there in the but yeah, the last if it was a 3-hour film, the last 20 minutes would have been a bit disappointing.
Yes, I'm with you.
So I think I had really high expectations, and I think if it was just like a normal book, and then also you have to remember it is a children's book, but it's sort of not a children's book. Yeah, so the end was a little bit. It just jarred with me a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. But still, a very, very beautiful story and well worth the read. H.
Well, I'll not read it because I don't read.
All right. Well, I think that's it. H. We'll call that a day. And people need to get in touch with us, don't they? And engage.
Yeah.
And we've just broken through the 250 subscribers on YouTube. But we don't have many people following us on Spotify. No. So if you listen to this here, just nip over to Spotify and give us a follow. It'd be good to get to 50 subscribers. Yeah. So even if you don't listen on Spotify, come along, give us a subscribe and give us a review, because that boosts our visibility on that platform.
It does. It
amazingly, yeah. It does help a lot. So do that if you get a minute. That would really help us out, because what we want to do is boost our numbers up to the point where we're able to do a live show, isn't it? That's what we want to do.
Absolutely. That's the goal, isn't it?
That's my goal anyway.
Yeah. We've just done a Facebook page. So there's a bit easier to interact with us on there than anything. You know, if that's the easiest way, kind of comment, you know, message the page, whatever. It might be the easiest way for a lot of people to get in touch. If not, we do have an Instagram that you can message. We have a TikTok. We have the Spotify. There's so many ways you can get in touch with us.
So many ways. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it then, H. All right. Love you. Bye.
Bye.